Good afternoon and welcome you to Estes Field on the campus of Central Methodist University for today's baseball doubleheader between Central Methodist and Baker University. Quentin Norris here today, singing the catbird seat. Central Methodist 14-10, 4-2 in the conference. Baker is 15-9, 7-1. The coaches for Central Methodist, Nate Breland. For Baker University is Ryan Goodwin there. Central Methodist, this past Wednesday, they split a doubleheader with Mid-American Nazarene. They won the first game 15-2 thanks to home runs, 2 of them by Allen West and 3 of them by Tanner Sears, and then lost the second game 3-0. While Baker, they swept the doubleheader from Park University on Tuesday. They won the first game 10-4, won the second game 9-5. If you look at the numbers there, for Central Methodist, leading the way in hitting is Robbie Merced, 393 average, 3 homers, 18 RBIs. For Baker is Peyton Lewis, 365, no homers, 10 RBIs. Pitching-wise for Baker is Alfred Yora, 0.96 ERA, 4 walks, 8 strikeouts. For Baker, it's Luke Smith, 1.08 ERA, 5 walks, 7 strikeouts there as well. Of course, sports-wise going on today, of course, Central Methodist softball, they had to do some dodging and ducking around the schedule there. Originally, they were going to play 2 at Clark. Well, it's been moved to Mount Mercy, and their first game of the doubleheader is at 4 p.m. The second game at 6 o'clock as well. And, of course, tomorrow, Central Methodist Baseball will take on Baker in a doubleheader. Pre-game show, 12:45, 1 o'clock first pitch. And then softball will play at Mount Mercy for a 1 o'clock doubleheader as well. In the standings there in the South, Baker leads the way 7-1, 15-9. Central Methodist 4-2, 14-10. Mid-American Nazarene 5-3, 12-13. Missouri Valley 4-4, 8-13. Benedictine is 2-3, 7-14 as well. For Evangel and Park, they're all tied for 6, 3-5. Evangel's 18-8. Park is 9-12. In the North Division, you got Mount Mercy 6-2, 15-8 altogether. Clark is 3-3, 10-9. William Penn is also in that third. Actually, they're 3-5, 15-8. Culver Stockton 3-7, 7-16. Grandview is 1-2 and 13-3 altogether. Graceland 2-4, 8-15, and Peru State 1-3 and 4-8 altogether as well. Of course, we'll go ahead and give you today's starting lineups there, as well sponsored by Commercial Trust Bank. For the visiting Baker Wildcats, under head coach Ryan Goodwin, leading off and playing left field is Quentin Graham. Batting second, their first baseman is Tanner Twelman. Batting third is their shortstop, Tucker Flory. Batting fourth is their catcher, Brian Hawkins. Batting fifth and playing right field there is John Rayborn. Batting fifth. Batting sixth is the third baseman, Peyton Lewis. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, Darwin Owega. Batting eighth, their first baseman is their center fielder, Jared Parentini. And batting ninth is their second baseman, Cooper Carlin, with Christian Spitz today starting pitcher as well. For your Central Methodist Eagles, under head coach Nate Breland, leading off and playing center field is Bobby Nichols. Batting second, shortstop, Robbie Merced. Batting third baseman, Jeremy Conforte. Batting fourth, designated hitter, Tanner Sears. Batting fifth and playing right in left field, Khalil Thrasher. Batting sixth in right field, Allen West. Batting seventh, second baseman, Tommy Giarola. Batting eighth, their third baseman, Joseph Weatherford. And batting ninth, their catcher is Logan Duty. And Clayton Burke will start in game number 1. And it looks like Sebastian Escobar will get the start in game 2 there as well. Of course, talking to one of the assistant coaches, actually it was Cooper Keel as well, and a few of the other players there as well. It's a great day to have you with us there. Quentin Norris singing the Catbird Suite, other sports events going on there as well. Of course, XFL, of course, Seattle and Orlando. Orlando right now is leading 10-9 at halftime down in Orlando, Florida. Also, of course, the NCAA women's basketball tournament. Of course, the women's Sweet 16. Of course, Maryland beat Notre Dame 76-59 as well. Of course, the men's Elite 8 begins at 5 o'clock with Kansas State taking on Florida Atlantic. Then at 7:30, UConn and Gonzaga. But the big one, 7 o'clock tonight, is the NHL game. The Washington Capitals take on the Pittsburgh Penguins there as well. Also, the St. Louis take on Vegas there as well. That's at 6 p.m. the start time as well. And we're just about maybe 5 days away from the start of the Major League Baseball season. Of course, the St. Louis Cardinals, they'll be taking on Toronto. They'll start at 3 p.m. at Busch Stadium. The Kansas City Royals will be taking on the Minnesota Twins on opening day at Kauffman Stadium for a 3 o'clock start time. And then, of course, you got the Thursday night opener. It's the Chicago White Sox taking on the defending World Series champion Houston Astros. 6 p.m. start time there as well. Pre-game coverage begins at 5 o'clock with baseball tonight. I think your host will be Kevin Connors along with Jeff Passan. Tim Kirchin are your hosts as well. Glad to see Major League Baseball. It's going to be a lot of fun and it's going to be exciting. And you see the fans starting to file in there as well. Quentin Norris here from the catbird seat of Estes Field. And you see Baker, they're in their light blue uniform, orange numerals. And when you first see them, they kind of remind me of the old uniforms of the Minnesota Twins back in the 1970s. They used to wear those blue ones there. I remember that numerous times when they always played the Kansas City Royals. Numerous times, most notably on opening day as well. As both, and you see Baker getting their warm-up tosses there. And then probably will meet with the coaches at home plate. And then, of course, give you the starting lineups along with the national anthem and the prayer as well. Just a nice day there. Of course, this past Monday was the first day of spring. And it feels like I think when I drove by the Commercial Trust Bank, it looked like it was around 50 degrees there at the start of the broadcast. So, should be a lot of fun there as well. Just getting their last warm-up tosses there. And of course, the umpiring crew should be getting set. Coach for Central Methodist is Nate Braylon. For Baker is Ryan Twelman. Should be a fun ball game. It looks like, I think that's Clayton Burke warming up in the Central Methodist bullpen. Actually, I think that's number 18, Sebastian Escobar. I think he'll start in game 2 there. So we're ready to get going. There you see the umpiring crew. We'll be heading out to the field. One of the newest things they did, they added the steps there just right behind the Central Methodist bullpen. They just added it just about a week ago or so, which is really nice. Of course, it saves me from trying to slide down the rocky hills there. So we're about ready to get going. There you see the umpires. There you see Nate Braylon. There, of course. Glad to have you with us on this Saturday afternoon. Boy, it just feels like I'm just at Dodger Stadium. The fun part is we got some Dodger blue skies overlooking Estes Field. Boy, it just feels like I'm in Dodger Stadium, sitting in that area where the great Vin Scully used to do the Dodger games, wherever it's at Dodger Stadium or most notably on NBC television with the great Joe Garagiola. And then, of course, back in 1989, of course, they added Tom Seaver to the broadcast as well. There you see Nate Breland there, getting their lineup cards going. So it should be a lot of fun. I know it was a 1 o'clock. They just moved it to 2 o'clock, and I'm sure we'll give you some softball updates there as well. I'm sure we'll see their coach for Baker. That's Ryan Twellman. He should be coming on out there to get the lineups going. I know they'll probably go over a few ground rules, making sure everything is in play, or which is out of play, which is which area is part of the dugouts and all that stuff. So it's a really neat conference, and I think the first time I remember learning all this, I remember one time, I think several years ago, I was watching a pregame show on MSG. I think it was the Yankees were on television that Saturday. It was a Saturday afternoon one, and I remember Al Troutwig was the pregame show. Was hosting the pregame show, and he was meeting with. I think he met with one of the crew chiefs that was working that game. I think it was the Yankees and I would like to say they were playing maybe the Chicago White Sox or somewhere. And I remember it was at Yankee Stadium. And I remember Al Troutwig. And now you see the lineup cards being exchanged. So we should be getting ready to get started. Just glad to have you with us on this, the 5th day of spring, 2023. But sooner or later, I think next week, according to what Channel 8 said, I think we may be seeing some 60s. And maybe later on, maybe some mid-60s as well. So, the umpires meeting. So, I think sooner or later, we'll probably get these starting lineups from PA announcer Kevin Uth as well. And we should be ready to play some baseball. And then, of course, the next game up for Central Methodist after the 4-game series, they'll be back at home next Saturday taking on Benedictine. The pregame show, 12:45, 1 o'clock first pitch as well. So we're about ready to get. So once the umpiring crew glad to have you with us in beautiful Fayette, Missouri. Of course, softball team, they're fit. They are fit. I think 13-5 on the year. Of course, they begin their conference play. They played this past Wednesday on the new turf at the Cox Softball Complex. Defeated Cotty, won both games of it, like 7-1 and 7-2 as well. So it's a really nice softball field there, and of course, hopefully their next home game is next Saturday, taking on Mid-America Nazarene for a 1 o'clock start time. The pregame show at 12:45 p.m. as well. Softball team. So now both teams shake hands. And now we're about ready to get the starting lineups there. And we should be ready to go.
Central Methodist Eagles with all players, coaches, and spectators survived by the NAIA champions of character values, which are respect, integrity, responsibility, servant leadership, and sportsmanship. And now, let's meet the starters for today's contest. First, for the visiting team, the Baker University Wildcats. Leading off, playing left field, number 20, Quentin Graham. Batting second, playing first base, number 8, Tanner Twellman. Hitting third, playing shortstop, number 27, Tucker Flory. Batting cleanup and catching, number 9, Brian Hawkins. Batting fifth and playing right field, number 4, John Claiborne. Hitting sixth and playing third base, number 1, Peyton Lewis. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, number 0, Darwin Oliega. Hitting eighth and playing center field, number 3, Jared Peretti. Hitting ninth and playing second base, number 5, Cooper Carlin. And the starting pitcher, number 2, Christian Spitz. The Wildcats are led by head coach Ryan Goodwin, and he's assisted by Tanner Twellman and Bo Hunter. And now, it's time to introduce today's starters for your Central Methodist Eagles. Leading off and playing center field, number 5, Bobby Nichols. Batting second, playing shortstop, number 2, Robbie Merced. Hitting third and playing first base, number 33, Jeremy Conforti. Batting cleanup, the designated hitter, number 21, Tanner Sears. Batting fifth and playing left field, number 13, Khalil Thrasher. Hitting sixth and playing right field, number 8, Alan West. Batting seventh, the second baseman, number 3, Tommy Girola. Hitting eighth and playing third base, number 29, Joe Weatherford. Batting ninth and catching, number 7, Logan Duty. And the starting pitcher, number 17, Clayton Burke. The Eagles are led by head coach Nate Freeland and assisted by Robin Lovenbach. And now, ladies and gentlemen, if you are able, please rise and remove your hats for a prayer to be followed by the playing of our national anthem. Almighty God, you have created us to strive for our best. Grant all athletes, coaches, and fans the strength to pursue excellence during this event. We pray for the safety of these athletes, protect them from injury and harm. Help us to honor you in all that we do on and off the field, and make us witnesses to your glory. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Got the starting lineup, prayer, and national anthem. We're going to, and you see Central Methodist taking the field there. Umpires meeting, and we'll go ahead and set the defense for you. Sponsored by Home Oil. Out in left field is Khalil Thrasher. Center fielder Bobby Nichols. And right field, Alan West. And infield, that's Joseph Weatherford at third. Bobby Merced at shortstop. Tommy Girola at second base. The first baseman is Jeremy Conforte. Behind the plate is Logan Duty, and there you see today's starting pitcher Clayton Burke on the year from Portland, Oregon. 3-3 on the year, 5.90 ERA, 11 walks and 32 strikeouts there. We're about ready to get started. Burke taking the warm-up tosses there. As Burke, we should be getting ready to go as Quentin Graham will be the batter. Graham gets the final warm-up toss there. So he'll get one more warm-up toss there, and we should be ready to get going. There you see, he throws it down to short. There you see, it looks like Ryan Twillman will be heading toward the third base coach's box. As Quentin Graham will be the batter. 471 hitter, 4 homers, 6 RBI. From Lawrence, Kansas. We're about ready to get started. Clayton Burke with the first pitch. And that is a strike call there. Came at 2:07 p.m. The temperature 53 degrees. The time and temperature sponsored by the parking spot. Easy to spot and easy to park at the parking spot at the Kansas City International Airport. Swings and misses. Strike 2 there. No balls and 2 strikes on Quentin Graham. The 0-2 pitch. Strike 3 call. Duty has to throw the first to complete the out. So 1 out now for their first baseman, Tanner Twillman. 303 hitter, a homer, 6 RBIs from Olathe, Kansas. It's home of Mid-American Nazarene. Getting the sign down from the third baseman. I think one of the assistant coaches in the first baseman, but I don't see him there. First pitch to him. Oh, there's a beauty. 4 consecutive strikes, and it's 0-1 to count. 0-1 to count. The 0-1 now. Oh, that's a good curveball. Strike 2. 0-2 the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Here's your 0-2 pitch. It's a high pop up there. I think Giarola calls for it. No, it's Merced makes the play there. 2 quick outs now for Tucker Flory. 316 hitter, 6 homers, 28 RBIs. From Lawrence, Kansas. Home of the Kansas Jayhawks, and one of my friends lives there. His name is Jeremy Snap, and I'm sure Jeremy is listening in on the broadcast. That's a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 to count on Tucker Flory. 1-0 pitch. Fouls it to the screen, and it's 1-1 now. 1 ball, 1 strike on Tucker Flory. Burke getting assigned the 1-1. There's a beauty there. Strike 2. 1-2 the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 pitch. Nice stop there by Logan Duty, and the count is 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 pitch. Misses that one. 3-2 now. You can say he went from 0-2 to 3-2. 3-2 the count. Swings and misses. A 1-2-3 inning goes Baker. We head to the bottom of the first inning. No score there. We'll go ahead and set the defense for you for Baker University. It is sponsored by Emmett's Kitchen and Tap. Out in left field is Quentin Graham. In center field, it is Jared Paniti. In right field, there's John Rayborn. Down at third base, it's Peyton Lewis. Shortstop, Tucker Flory. Second baseman, that's Cooper Carlin. Their first baseman is Tanner Twellman. Behind the plate there is Brian Hawkins. And their starting pitcher is Christian Spitz from Overland Park, Kansas. We're home of legendary sports announcer Kevin Harlan. Of course, used to be the voice of the Kansas City Chiefs back in the 1980s. Carlin and Christian Spitz, that is, 4.19 ERA, 12 walks, 22 strikeouts on the year. And getting ready to lead off is Bobby Nichols. Followed by Robbie Merced and Jeremy Conforte. Throws it down to second. As Bobby Nichols up there. .316 hitter, no homers, 9 RBIs from Detroit, Michigan. Home of the Detroit Tigers. First pitch to Bobby Nichols. Here it comes. Swings and misses. Strike one there. The famous TV show was Home Improvement. They had a guy named Tim Allen who hosted a program called Tool Time, and his sidekick was Al Borland. 0-1 to count. Tries to bunt. That's strike two there. One of the best ones I ever watched is where Tim the Toolman Taylor challenged Bob Vila to a lawnmower race. The second best one, where Al Borland got stuck in the chimney on Tool Time. Strike three call, so one out now for Robbie Merced. .393 hitter, 3 homers, 18 RBIs from Springfield, Missouri. That's also where my favorite junior high teacher named John Gurman, along with his wife Julie, who was at one time was the superintendent at Brunswick High School. I'd like to say hi. I'm sure they are listening in there. There's a strike call, 4 consecutive strikes there. One of my friends who also lives in that area, name is Jennifer Giesler. 0-1 now. That's outside, 1-1 to count there. And I'm sure she is listening into the broadcast. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 pitch. That's a bit outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Of course, Robbie's dad, Orlando, played baseball for 12 years with mostly the Chicago Cubs, Pittsburgh Pirates, and the Montreal Expos. 2-1 to count. Lines a shot. I believe that's a foul ball. 2-2 to count. Nate Breland coaching at third. At first base, Rob Ehlers. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Robbie Merced. 1 out in the bottom of the first inning. The 2-2 pitch. That's a high. 3-2 now. 3-2 the count on Robbie Merced with Jeremy Conforte on deck. 3-2 the count. 3-2 pitch. Hits a little roller to the third baseman. He has it. Throws over the first. And there's 2 quick outs now for Jeremy Conforte. .364 hitter, homer, and 17 RBIs from Villa Park, Illinois. So Jeremy Conforte. the sign from Coach Nate Breland. 0-1 to count. 0-1 pitch. That's inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. On Jeremy Conforte. The 1-1 pitch. It's a high fly ball to left field. Graham giving chase, and that's a foul ball. 1-2 the count there. One ball, 2 strikes. On Jeremy Conforte. 1-2 pitch. A little excuse me swing to the screen. He tried to check it, but he fouled it off. And it's 1-2 the count there. Of course, we got some Dodger blue skies overlooking Estes Field. I think tomorrow's supposed to be a little bit warmer. I think the upper 50s, according to what Channel 8's own Emily Chippridge said, along with weathercaster Matt Beckwith. Swings and misses, strike 3 call. A 1-2-3 inning goes Central Methodist. We are through 1. No score on CMUEagles.com and the Heart America Conference Network. Okay, who's at the bat? Number 9. No runs, no hits, no errors for Central Methodist. As Brian Hawkins up there, 290 hitter, 4 homers, 17 RBIs from Scranton, Kansas. Where's number 9? Top of the second inning. First pitch to Brian Hawkins. Hits a high fly ball to center field. I think Bobby Nichols has it. And he makes the catch for out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 out, and he lost his hat there. Just like Willie Mays used to do that a lot. There's John Rayborn, a 250 hitter. No, 2 homers, 13 RBIs. First pitch. That's a ball outside. Rayborn, the 1-0. Oh, there's a beauty there. Strike 1. Where's number 4? Just like Lou Gehrig used to wear number 4 back in the 20s there for the New York Yankees. 2-1 to count there. From Kansas City. Looking forward to watching the Royals take on the Twins on opening day on Thursday. Fouls it to the screen. 2 balls and 2 strikes. On deck is Peyton Lewis. 2-2 to count. 2-2 pitch. Nice stop there by Logan Duty, and it's 3-2 now. Three balls, 2 strikes. 3-2 pitch. It's a high fly ball there. It's either like St. Cleo Thrasher calls for it, and there's 2 outs there. Got the first 5 outs recorded, and here's Peyton Lewis. 365 hitter. No homers, 10 RBIs. From Blue Springs, Missouri on Highway 7. beautiful area. Been to that town so many times. Swings and misses, strike one there. No balls and one strike. 0-1 now. Wanting one to count. One of my favorite memories, I always remember going to Blue Spring. Go there and watch some of the prettiest lights they've had during the Christmas season. They do a great job of it. High fly ball into right field. I think Alan West will call for it. And it's another 1-2-3 inning. Goes Baker. We head to the bottom of the second inning. It's no score there. No runs, no hits, and no errors for Central Methodist. As Tommy Girola up there, 273 hitter, 1 homer, 5 RBIs. From Torino, Italy. I remember the first time I remember that area was from watching the Bugs Bunny cartoon featuring Sylvester the Cat and the Tweety Bird. And a strike call there. I think it was when the Tweety Bird and Granny was taking a vacation. No balls and 1 strike. 1-1 the count there. And I think Sylvester, the cat, was chasing the Tweety Bird. 1-1 pitch. It's a high fly ball to center field. Center fielder calls for it. And there's out number 1. Here is Joseph Weatherford. 279 hitter, 2 homers, 16 RBIs on the year from a town of Flower Mound, Texas. I believe that's around the Dallas area. Of course, in the same area where there was the original Dallas that took place at South Fork, featuring a guy named Larry Hagman. 1-0 the count. 1 ball, no strikes on Joseph Weatherford. The 1-0. Fouls it off there. 1-1 now. One and one to count on Joseph Weatherford. 1-1 pitch. Strike 2. 1-2 the count. On deck is Logan Duty. One ball, 2 strikes. Fouls it off. Still 1-2. One and two the count on Joseph Weatherford. 1-2 pitch. That's outside. 2-2. 2-2 the count on Joseph Weatherford. 2-2 pitch. It's a little cue shot as a base hit. First hit of the game for Central Methodist. And now Logan Duty up there. 283 hitter, homer, 10 RBIs. From Slidell, Louisiana. First base runner for Central Methodist on the single by Weatherford. First hit for either team. Baker's first base runner was on a walk. First pitch to him. That is a strike call on the outside corner. 0-1 with Bobby Nichols on deck. 0-1 the count. 0-1 now. There's a strike call. 0-2 now. A little quick pitch. 0-2 now. 0-2 on Logan Duty. Weatherford's at first with a 1-out single. The 0-2. That's up high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 now. You see Nate Breland wants to talk with Logan Duty. And I think a few miles north, there's a famous athlete from Monroe, Louisiana named Vida Blue, who won the Cy Young and American League MVP back in 1971 for the Oakland A's, part of the A's team that won 3 straight World Series championships. Fouls it off. 1-2 the count. And his first batter he faced in the 1971 All-Star game was a gentleman named Willie Mays. One-two pitch. That's high. 2-2. Two balls and two strikes on Logan Duty. Weatherford's at first. Checks that runner. 2-2 pitch. Now 3-2 now. You can see he went from 0-2 to 3-2. You wonder if maybe we see Weatherford with a running start. 3-2 pitch. That's inside. So ball 4 now. And now Central Methodist has 2 on base for Bobby Nichols. He struck out his first time up there. And there you see the courtesy run. I think that's Terry Tolliver Jr. from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Bobby Nichols struck out. So Weatherford's at second. Duty's at first. No score, bottom of the third. First and second checks the runners. Infield in at the corners. The first pitch, that's a ball low. 1-0 to count. Now it looks like a little conference action there. For softball for Central Methodist. They'll be getting started in about an hour and 21 minutes over at Mount Mercy. They're playing Clark, but it's at Mount Mercy. 1 ball, no strikes on Bobby Nichols. The 1-0 pitch. Tries the bunt. Lays out a beautiful bunt there. Pitcher has it. Throws over to the first for the out. So good sack bunt there. So 2 outs now. Here's Robbie Merced. He grounded out to third. Third base his first time up. Weatherford's at third. Terry Tolliver Jr. is at second. First pitch. That's a bit high. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 to count on Robbie Merced. Jeremy Conforte's on deck. The 1-0. That's up high. 2 balls and no strikes. Looks like they're going to give him the free pass. So now the base is full of Eagles for Jeremy Conforte. He struck out his first time up. Base is loaded, 2 outs. No score. First pitch to him. That's a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Tanner Sears on deck. Now it looks like one of the coaches want to talk with their starting pitcher, Christian Spitz. Probably maybe go over the scouting report and how to pitch to Jeremy Conforte. Games 3 and 4 tomorrow. Pregame show at 12:45 p.m. One ball, no strikes on Jeremy Conforte. At third base is Joseph Weatherford. Second base, Terry Tolliver Jr. Robbie Merced at first. I think he did go. Yes, he did. 1-1 to count. A base hit can bring you 2. A double could bring you 3. A triple will also bring you 3. A home run brings in 4. 1-1 to count. Lines a shot in the left field. That's well hit. That's up against the Green Monster. 1 run's going to score. Tolliver will score. Here comes Robbie Merced. Throw is cut off. A 3-run double gives Central Methodist a 3-0 lead. Here's Tanner Sears. He flew out to center field his first time up. Conforti's at second with a 3-run double. Lines a shot. That is a base hit. They're going to wave Conforti. No, they're going to give him the stop sign. And it's first and third now. 3 hits already for Central Methodist. Khalil Frasher struck out his first time up. First pitch to him. I think he did go, no question about it, strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. Conforti at third, Sears at first. The 0-1 now. A little chin music. 1 ball, 1 strike. One and 1 to count. The 1-1. Swings and misses. Strike 2. 1 and 2 to count. One ball, 2 strikes on Khalil Thresher. 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 call. Yes. So 3 runs on 3 hits. No errors. 2 left on. We are through 3. Central Methodist 3. Baker nothing on CMUEagles.com. Three runs, 3 hits, no errors for Central Methodist. No runs, no hits, and no errors for Baker University. As we head to the 4th inning. Tanner Twillman, he popped out to Robbie Merced, his first time up. That's a ball, 1 ball, no strike. Strike call, 1 and 1 now. One pitch. Misses there, 2 and 1 now. Two balls and a strike, 2-1 pitch. Strike 2, 2 and 2 to count. Top of the 4th inning, 3-0 Central Methodist. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Misses that one, 3 and 2. Three balls and 2 strikes. On Tanner Twillman, 3-2 pitch. Cues it fouled. 3-2 the count to Tanner Twellman. Working the sign, 3-2 pitch. Strike three call. What a beauty. There's one out now. 4 strikeouts now for Clayton Burke. And it's Tucker Flory up there. He struck out his first time up. First pitch to him. Swings and misses. Strike one. No balls and 1 strike. 0-1 pitch. Lines a shot and is a base hit down there. Frasher plays the wall perfectly. Flory's thinking 2. He'll be there with a 1-out double. There's Brian Hawkins. He flew out to Bobby Nichols his first time up. Flory's at second with the 1-out double. First pitch to him. Lines it right to Merced. They'll throw to second. Beautiful play and a double play. So no runs on 1 hit. No errors, no one let on. We are halfway home. 3-0 Central Methodist on CMUEagles.com. Three runs, 3 hits, no errors for Central Methodist, no runs, a hit, and no errors for Baker. As Alan West up there, he grounded out the shortstop his first time up. So West up there. First pitch to him. Fouls it to the screen. Strike one. 0-1 to count. On 1 now on Allen West. Oh, 1 now. Strike 2. 1-2 the count. No balls and 2 strikes on Allen West. Glad to have you with us on this Saturday afternoon. Beautiful day, Dodger blue skies. Hits a high fly ball into center field. Center fielder calls for it. And he makes the catch for out number 1. Here's Tommy Giarola. He flew out to center field his first time up. First pitch to him. Lines a shot in the left field. Left fielder Graham, he'll play it on the bounce. A 1-out single there. That's the 4th hit of the game for Central Methodist. Here's Joe Weatherford. He singled to center field. That started the 3-run third inning there. 4 hits now for Central Methodist. Girola first. Swings and misses. Strike 1. No balls and 1 strike on Joseph Weatherford. 0-1 now. There goes Girola. The throw not in time. A stolen base there. And I believe the count, I think it's 0-2 there. Umpire gets everything all situated. 0-2 the count on Joseph Weatherford. Girola at second. Looks like time called. A base hit could bring in Girola. They check. Back goes Girola. And it's 1-2 now. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. One, two, the count. The 1-2. Lines a shot in the left field. Left fielder is there to make the catch for out number 2. Here's Logan Duty. He drew a walk his first time up. Walk. So Giro is at second with 2 outs. 3-0 Central Methodist. All came in the third inning on the 3-run double by Jeremy Conforte. And the pitch, I think he held up in time. Yeah, that's a ball. 1 ball, no strikes on Logan Duty. Giro is at second. Singled and stole second. The 1-0. Lines that shot. That is a foul ball. 1-1 now. Bobby Nichols on deck. Bottom of the 4th inning. 3-0 Central Methodist. The 1-1. That's up high. 2-1 to count. Two and one to Logan Duty. 2-1 pitch. That's up high. 3-1. You wonder if he has the green light. Gio rolls at second. A base hit can make it 4-0. 3-1 pitch. Takes it 3-2 now. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 now on Logan Duty. Gio rolls at second. 3-2 pitch. Fouls it off there. 3-2 the count on Logan Duty. Checks that runner. 3-2 pitch. Lines a shot into left field. That'll be a base hit. Here comes Girola. The throw will be up the line, and it's 4-0 Central Methodist. Excellent at bat by Logan Duty. And looks like Terry Tolliver Jr. will be the courtesy runner there. As Bobby Nichols up to 0 for 1 with a sac bunt. 4-0 Central Methodist. And for Logan Duty, that's 11 RBIs on the year. The 3-run double by Jeremy Conforti gave him 20 on the season. So Nichols is at bat. Terry Tolliver Jr. is at first. First pitch to him. That is a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 to count. 4-0 Central Methodist. The 1-0. There goes Tolliver Jr., and that's a base hit there. Tolliver Jr. will stop at second. First and second, still 2 outs. For Robbie Merced, 0 for 1. He had an intentional walk his last time up. And scored the 3rd run there. So Merced at the bat. Terry Tolliver Jr. is at second. Mickles at first. 4-0 Central Methodist. First pitch to him. Nice stop there. 1 ball, no strikes. Jeremy Conforti on deck. One ball, no strikes. First and second, the 1-0. A little check swing, but he fouled it off, and it's 1-1 to count. 6 hits already for Central Methodist. One ball, 1 strike. The 1-1. That's 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 to count to Robbie Merced. 2-1 pitch. That's up high. 3-1 now. Three and one to count to Robbie Merced. 3-1 pitch. And it's ball 4 now. So now the base is loaded full of Eagles for the 2nd consecutive inning. And Jeremy Conforti up there, 1 for 2 with a double and 3 RBI. That drove in 3 runs, Weatherford, Tolliver Jr., and Merced. So bases loaded full of Eagles. First pitch to him. It's a high fly ball in the right field. Right fielder gives chase. Back, and it's gone. A grand slam for Jeremy Weatherford. That's his 2nd of the year. 7 RBIs, gives him 24. And suddenly Central Methodist has an 8-0 lead there on a grand slam. That went off the glove of the right fielder. So 5 big runs there. So Tanner Sears up there, one for 2 with a single. Hits the ground ball to the third baseman. Has it through the first. And he does get the tag, yep. So 5 big runs on 4 hits, no errors, no letdown, thanks to a grand slam home run by Jeremy Conforti with 7 RBIs. And we are through 4. Central Methodist 8. Baker nothing on the CMUEagles.com and the Hard America Conference Network. Eight runs, 7 hits, no errors for Central Methodist. No runs, a hit, and no errors for Baker. And the 7 RBIs, I believe, is a school record for the most RBIs in a game by a Central Methodist player. There's John Rayborn up there. He flew out to Khalil Fresher his first time up. First pitch to him. Swings and misses. Strike 1. That you have to go back within the last 30 years of it since I've followed Central Methodist Athletics. Strike 2 now. I believe that's the record. 7 in one game. 0-2 to count. 0-2 pitch. Ball 1-2 to count. One ball, 2 strikes. Top of the 5th inning. 8-0 Central Methodist. 5 big ones in the 4th. Nice stop there. 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 pitch. Fouls it off. 2-2. A little past 3 o'clock. Here we are in the top of the 5th inning. Just about an hour into the books. 2-2 to count. Lines a shot. Alan West does a great job keeping the ball in front, holding him to a single. Only the second hit of the game for Baker University. As Peyton Lewis flew out to Alan West his first time up. First pitch to him. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 to count. Throw over the first. That kind of gets away. And that'll move Rayborn into second. That'll be an error probably on the pitcher, Clayton Burke. So Burke needs to settle down. Just talk to the baseball. Point to Logan Duty for the sign. So Rayburn's at second, nobody out, and the count is 1-0. The 1-0. 2 balls and no strikes. Two and 0 to count to Peyton Lewis. 2-0 pitch. Fouls it off. 2-1 now. So, 2-1 to count on Peyton Lewis. 2-1 pitch. Swings and misses. 2-2 to count. As Joe Garagiola would say, that's called reaching back for something extra. 2-2 to count. 2-2 pitch. I think he did go. Duty gets the tag and then throws over to first just to complete the play. And there's 1 out now. is Darwin Oriega. He drew a walk his first time. Drew a walk from Lawrence, Massachusetts, around the Boston area, home of the Boston Red Sox. First pitch to him. Fouls it to the screen. No balls and one strike. Top of the fifth. Central Methodist 8. Baker nothing. 3 in the third and 4 in the fifth. Jeremy Conforti with 7 RBIs. The 0-1 now. That's a beautiful pitch. Strike 2. 0-2 the count. Baker 7-1 the conference, 15-9. Central Methodist 4-2, 14-10. 2-2. Actually, it's 1-2 the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Darwin Oriega. Jared Parentini on deck. 1-2 pitch. Lines a shot into right center field. That'll be a base hit there. Rayburn will score. And then the second is Oriega to make it 8-1 now. Jared Parenti up there. He drew a sac bunt his first time up. Runner at second. 1 out now. First pitch to him. There's a beautiful pitch. Strike 1. Top of the fifth inning. 8-1 Central Methodist. 0-1 now. It's a fly ball there. I think Bobby Nichols has some room. Makes a beautiful catch, just like Willie Mays did. And moving over to third is Oriega with 2 outs there. Just like Tommy Agee did that a lot in Game 3 of the 1969 World Series against the Baltimore Orioles. Here's Cooper Carlin. He grounded out to Tommy Giarola. First pitch to him. That's a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. That's outside. 2-0 the count. Two and 0 the count. 2-0 pitch. Fouls it off. 2 balls and a strike. Whitton Graham is on deck. First of 2 today. As the great Ernie Banks would say, beautiful weather, let's play 2. 2-1 pitch. Fouls it off. 2-2 the count. Two balls and 2 strikes on Cooper Carlin. Where's number 5? Just like the great George Brett did a lot for the Kansas City Royals. Grounded. That is a fair ball. Nice. Oh, it's around the corner right there, and Carlin will stop at second with a 2-out double. So and then coming in to score, Oriega to make it to 8-2 now. So Graham up there 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Suddenly it's 8-2 now. Logan Duty wants to talk it over with their starting pitcher Clayton Burke. First pitch to him. That's a mid low. 1 ball, no strikes. 1 ball, no strikes. The 1-0. 2-0 the count. Two balls and no strikes on Quentin Graham. 2-0 pitch. Now it's 3-0. Baker got 2 runs in the 5th. Already 3 hits there. 3-0 the count, 3-0 pitch. And now it's another walk. So now first and second now, and 2 outs for Tanner Twellman, who is 0 for 2 on the day. First and second, 2 outs. First pitch to Twellman. Misses that one. 1 ball, no strikes. 8-2 Central Methodist. 3 in the 3rd, 5 in the 4th. Looks like Justin Guzman is warming up in the Central Methodist bullpen. The 1-0. There's a pitch, strike. 1-1 now. 1 ball, 1 strike on Tanner Twellman. Carlin's at second. Quentin Graham's at first. The 1-1. That's a bit outside. 2-1 now. One ball, 2 balls, and 1 strike on Tanner Twellman. 2-1 pitch. There's another one. Good job of framing it by Logan Duty. 2-2 the count. 2s across the board, and Tucker Flory is on deck. 2-2 pitch. Chops it foul. Heading toward Ryan Goodwin, the head coach. Guzman is warming up in the Central Methodist bullpen. 2-2 the count on Tanner Twellman. 2-2 pitch. 3-2 now. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Getting the sign from Logan Duty. They check the runner. They fake the throw. So it's still 3-2 now. 3-2 pitch. Strike 3 call. What a job there by Clayton Burke. 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors. 2 left. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Central Methodist 8, Baker 2. 0-0, 9.45 ERA, 5 walks and a strikeout from Overland Park, Kansas. Left-handed pitcher, first pitch to him. That's a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Central Methodist got 3 runs in the 3rd, thanks to a 3-run double by Jeremy Conforti. 5 in the 4th, thanks to a grand slam homer by Jeremy Conforti, who has 7 RBIs altogether. Then Baker answered with 2 to make it 8-2 now. 2-0 to Khalil Thresher. 3-0 the count. On deck is the great Alan West. 3-0 pitch. Fouls it to the screen. 3-1 the count. About 42 minutes from now, the Central Methodist softball begin conference play taking on Clark. That is played at Mount Mercy. 3-1 pitch. That's ball 4 now, so leadoff walk now for Alan West, who is 0 for 2 on the day. So at first base is Khalil Thresher. First pitch to him. Hits the ground ball. There's a base hit up to the left side there. Thrasher stops second, the 8th hit of the game for Central Methodist. Here's Tommy Giro, 1 for 2 with a single. And that single in the 4th inning started the 5-run 4th inning. Now time is called for maybe a little conference action between Khalil Thrasher, Allen West. As Justin Guzman warms up there, you see that's Joey Fitzgerald Jr. playing catch out there. So now, first pitch to Giroir, tries to bunt. Did he go? I believe that's a ball. It is ball 1. 1 ball, no strike. Seattle defeated Orlando 26-19. Seattle's 4-2 on the year. Ball 2 now. 2-0 to count. Two balls and no strike. 2-0 pitch. Lays out a bunt. Beautiful bunt. They do get the tag. So it's a sack bunt. So everyone moves up the base. Good job there by Tommy Giroir. Here's Joseph Weatherford, 1 for 2 with a single. Second and third, one at infield end. Hits a high fly ball in the center field. I think that'll be deep enough. That will score Khalil Thrasher. And in the third is Allen West. So sack fly to center field. Makes it 9-2.
What's my count, Quentin?
It's 0-0 right now. Weatherford hit a sack fly to center. And here's,
Base runners.
just a runner at third. There's Logan Duty. 1 for 1 with a single and an RBI on the day. Strike call. No balls in the strike. Bobby Nichols on deck. Oh, 1 to count. The 0-1. That's outside. That is a balk call. So still it's 0-1. West scores to make it 9-2. No RBI recorded. And I think it's because he did not go to a complete set. If you remember last Sunday, Peru State had 6 balks called. I think that's the most I have ever seen in the last several years that I've watched Major League Baseball on television. And usually most of the best ones I've known to call one was a guy named Doug Harvey. A fly ball in the right field. And there's the third out. So 2 runs on just 1 hit, no errors, no one left on. We head to the top of the 6th inning. 10-2 Central Methodist on CMUEagles.com. Looks like, it's Justin Guzman pitching. That's what I thought. New pitcher on the mound, Justin Guzman out there. 0.76 ERA, 8 walks, 13 strikeouts from Riverside, California. I still remember just about a year ago is when I first met Justin Guzman along with his mom. Had a great visit with him there as well. Here's Tucker Flory, 1 for 2 with a dough. That was on Easter weekend against Mid-America Nazarene. 2 runs, 10 runs, 8 hits and an error for Central Methodist. 2 runs, 4 hits, and no errors for Baker. Guzman on the mound. First pitch. That is a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Started at 2:07. Looks like we played an hour and 18 minutes so far. There will be a 25-minute break in between. The 1-0. Swings and misses, strike 1. And I'm sure I want to say hi to Justin Guzman's mom in Riverside, California. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1 pitch. Oh, there's a beautiful pitch. Strike 2. Oh, and 1 ball, 2 strikes. That RBI by Weatherford gave him 17 on the year. 10-2 Central Methodist. 1-2 count to Tucker Flory. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's 2-2 to count. If you look into the bottom of the 6th inning, we got the top of the order coming up. Two and 2 to count. 2-2 pitch. Swings and misses. Strike 3 called. Brian Hawkins, 0 for 2. Of course, that last at bat, he lined out to Robbie Merced and threw to Tommy Giroa to double up Tucker Flory. 1 out now. The pitch. That's a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 to count to Brian Hawkins. 1-0 pitch. Swings and misses. Strike 1. 1-1 to count to Brian Hawkins. Looks like Joey Fitzgerald is the new third baseman. 1-1 pitch. Just missed. 2-1 to count. And I believe he'll be hitting in the number 8 spot in the order. Everybody else has remained the same. 2-1 to count. 2-1 pitch. Swings and misses. 2-2 now. Two balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 pitch. Ground ball. That is, nice stop by Robbie Merced. The throw, not in time, but a great effort there by Robbie Merced, keeping the ball from going out in the outfield there. And that's the 5th hit of the game for Baker University. So courtesy runner now, looks like number 22. Preston Drake is the courtesy runner. Here's John Rayborn, 1 for 2 with a single. Top of the 6th inning, 10-2 Central Methodist. First pitch to him. That is a ball. One ball, no strikes. The 1-0. Swings and misses. Strike 1. 1-1 to count. One ball, 1 strike to John Rayborn. 1-1 pitch. Fouls it off. 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes on John Rayborn. One and two the count to John Rayborn. Drake is at first. The 1-2 pitch. Hits the ground ball. Giarola. They'll go to Merced for one. The first double play. How about that? A 4-6-3 double play. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and no one let on. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Central Methodist 10, Baker 2 on CMUEagles.com. There you see the new pitcher, Jake Jarrell, on the mound from Lexa, Kansas. 0-0, 13.5 ERA. No walks and 4 strikeouts. 10 runs, 8 hits, no error, and 1 error for Central Methodist. 2 runs, 5 hits, and no errors for Baker University. First of 2 today. Here on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. We're glad to have you with us there. And as Vin Scully would say, hey, let's pull up a chair then and get ready for some Central Methodist baseball. Of course, in about 5 days, baseball's opening day. One for 2 with a single. Of course, the Cardinals take on the Toronto Blue Jays at Busch Stadium, 3 o'clock. Kansas City Royals take on Minnesota Twins at 3. 6 p.m., Chicago White Sox and the Houston Astros on ESPN television. First pitch to them. That is a strike call. No balls and 1 strike. 0-1 now to Bobby Nichols. The 0-1 now. Just bounces up in the field turf, and that's 1-1. Just a little past 3:30 p.m. on Saturday, March the 25th. The 1-1. Lines a shot. That is foul. 1-2. 1-2 the count. Guzman is still in the bullpen trying to get himself loose for the 7th inning. Hits a little chopper. That is a foul ball. I think Nate Breland is trying to be like Darren Pang would have done when he was with the Chicago Blackhawks. Making a lot of saves there. 1-2 the count. There's a base hit for Bobby Nichols. He has 2 for 3 with 2 singles. The 9th hit of the game for Central Methodist. Here's Robbie Merced. 0 for 1 with 2 walks. They're checking on Bobby Nichols. Last year stole 40 bases. I remember just several months ago, right before the baseball season, I think Jordan Schwalbach told me he's going for 50. There goes Nichols. And there's a stolen base there. And the count is 1-0 there. 1 ball, no strikes on Bobby Nichols. I always want to see Bobby Nichols do like what Tim McCarver did back in 1964. That is steal home. Strike 1. 1-1 the count on Robbie Merced. Jeremy Conforti on deck. What have they for him so far? 7 RBIs. 1-1 to count. The 1-1. There goes Nichols. And he takes third base easily. 2-1 to count. 2-1 to count to Robbie Merced. 2-1 to Merced. 2-1 pitch. There's a high pop up there. Let's see who calls for it. In foul territory, a little collision, but I think that's a foul ball. That was close. Actually, it's a pop out, so 1 out now for Jeremy Conforti. 2 for 3, a double, a homer, and 7 RBIs. First pitch. I think that hit him. And now he is at first and third with 1 out now. For Tanner Sears, 1 for 3 with a single. 9 hits already for Central Methodist. So a courtesy runner now. That looks like number 11. So Gannon Reckman, the courtesy runner for Jeremy Conforti. So Sears at bat. At third is Bobby Nichols. And the ball to Sears. With 1 out now, Khalil Thrasher on deck. 1 ball, no strikes. 10-2 Central Methodist. The 1-0. That is a ball. 2-0. 2-0 to count to Tanner Sears. Ruckman's at first. Nichols at third. 2-0 pitch. And Ruckman will take second there. I thought maybe Bobby Nichols was going to do like Tim McCarver did. That is steal home. He was the last player to steal home in a World Series against the New York Yankees back in 1964. Infield is in. 3-0 the count. Hits a ground ball, and there's a base hit there. Nichols will score. Gannon Ruckman will score to make it 12-2 now. On a 2-run single by Sears, gives him 30 on the year. Leads the team now in RBIs. Murray had 3 home runs on Wednesday against Mid-American Nazarene. So it's a single, 2 RBIs. He'll take second on the throw home. Here's Khalil Thrasher, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, but drew a walk. Sears at second, first pitch. And that's a ball, 1-0 the count. Looks like Alan West is on deck. 12-2 Central Methodist. The 1-0. Hits a chopper fouled, and then it's 1-1. Of course, the highlighter, Jeremy Conforti, homer and 7 RBIs. And I believe that's a school record for the most RBIs in a game. And it's 2-1 to count. 2 balls and 1 strike. 12-2 Central Methodist on 10 hits so far. Here's the pitch. Swings and misses. 2-2. Two and two to count on Khalil Thrasher. 2-2 pitch. Swings and misses. Strike three call. So 2 outs now. And here is Allen West. 1 for 3 with a single. Sears at second. Singled and took second on the throw. That hit Allen West there. Second hit batsman of the inning for Tommy Giarola. 1 for 2 with a single. First pitch to him. That is a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Looks like out on deck, that's Joey Fitzgerald Jr. That is a strike call on the outside corner. 1-1 to count. One ball, 1 strike. The 1-1 pitch. Nice stop there. 2-2. 2-1 to count. Second game should be starting, I would say, around 4:15. 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 pitch. Oh, that gets away from it, and everybody will move a base. That will be a pass ball there. 3-1 to count on Tommy Giarola. (12-2) Central Methodist. Three and 1 to count. 3-1 pitch. Swings and misses. 3-2. Three and 2 now on Tommy Giarola. 3-2 pitch and a foul ball. Still 3-2. Logan, that is Joey Fitzgerald Jr. on deck. Three-two pitch. Fouls that one off. Still 3-2. Three and 2 now on Tommy Giarola. Three-two pitch. Fouls that one off. Still 3-2 now. Sears is at third. West is at second. Base hit can add 2 more runs to the scoreboard. Three-two pitch. Strike 3 call. But Central Methodist gets 2 big runs on 2 hits. No errors. And they lead 2. We head to the top of the 7th inning. Central Methodist 12. Baker 2 on CMUEagles.com. Trey. So Joey Fitzgerald is the third baseman. Trey Rasenfloss is your third baseman. 12 runs, 10 hits, and an error for Central Methodist. As Peyton Lewis up there. 0 for 2 on the day. 2 runs, 5 hits, and no errors. Central Methodist just needs 3 more outs. That's a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. One ball, no strikes. Strike, 1-1 now. One and one to count. The 1-1. Strike 2, 1-2 now. 1-2 the count. Central Methodist trying to go for win number 15, but most importantly, 5-2 in the conference. Oh, there's the curveball. What a beauty. Strike 3 call, so 1 out now. Darwin Oriego, 1 for 1 with a double and 2 RBIs. Fouls it all. Here's a ground ball. That's Girola. Throws over to the Trey Rosenfloss for out number 2. So 2 quick outs now. And 1 more to go. And set to Jared Parente. Parente 0 for 1. First pitch to him. That is a ball. It's a high pop-up. That'll probably go out of play. 1-1 to count. Two and 1 to count there. 1 more to go. 2-1 on Jared Parente. Cooper Carlin's on deck. Just needs 1 more to go. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. 2-2 the count. 1 more to go. Two and 2 the count on Jared Parente. 2-2 pitch. That's outside. 3-2. Three and 2 the count. 3-2 pitch. Fly ball. I think this will do it as Alan West calls for it, and that's a winner, folks. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one let on. And Jack Buck will say it. That's a winner, folks. Final score, Central Methodist 12. Baker 2. We'll give you the line totals. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for Baker. 12 runs, 10 hits, and an error for Central Methodist. Central Methodist is 15-10, 5-2 in the conference. Baker goes to 15-10 and 7-2 in the conference. The highlighter today, a 5-run fourth inning, 7 RBIs by Jeremy Conforte. We'll have game number 2 starting up in about 25 minutes or so. This is Quentin Norris. Say so long. We'll see you around the 4 o'clock hour or so on CMUEagles.com.